Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Good evening, everyone. We are here live at drroto.com and all of our socials. This is Rise and Grind, where Trevor and I are going to go through a review of last week's games. We're going to go game by game. We're going to talk team by team. We're going to tell you who's hot, who's not, who to drop, who to add. We're going to look at everything. No Lou tonight, just Trevor and I. Maybe Doc comes one of these days. Maybe some other guests, but tonight you're stuck with our two ugly mugs. How you doing, Trevor?
I'm not doing too bad. I had a good week in DFS, so could have been better. But, yeah, I can't complain. I mean, I'm one tight end away from being a big winner. But that's
if I could have played six
Monday slate and Sunday slate, tight end. Gosh,
if we could have played 6 tight ends this week, Trevor, we'd have been in the money. Tight ends went crazy this week.
Yeah, I had too much Bowers. I played him in half my lineups, and they started going to him in the end of the fourth quarter, but they were just running the ball so well. I mean, they only had 12. Well, Geno kept throwing interceptions when he was throwing, so they decided to just keep giving Genty the ball because the Bears had no business winning that game. So the Bears lost one they shouldn't have lost against the Vikings, and now they took one away, so it evened out.
Yeah, I played 100% Hampton and Bowers, and if I had played 100% Hampton and Gentry, I probably would have made some cash.
Yeah. Well, my Woody Marks came through in a few lineups. I didn't play him as much as I said I was gonna. I chickened out, but all those lineups cashed. I mean, they didn't. The reason why they didn't win the big money, because I had them in quite a few lineups, is because it paid the optimizers I was using, DFS Hero. We went with Bowers in a lot of those lineups because we could pay up for the tight end. And if you had the 3 bigger running backs, it paid you down at tight end, and you would have done a lot better. But anyway, that's for tomorrow night. Right,
that's tomorrow night show. I like that. All right, we are going to start off with the Seattle at Arizona game, my friend. That ended up 23-20 for the Seattle Seahawks, who are now 3-1. Arizona 2-2. That division is pretty much wide open, with 49ers finally losing a game when they probably should have lost all 4 games. But we'll start there. Let's see who the Seahawks got next. Seahawks are going to get, and let me pull it up here, the Buccaneers in Seattle next. That's an interesting matchup there. Let's get into it. So the Seahawks, we had Darnold be very pedestrian at 240 and 1 touchdown. We saw a pretty even split between Walker and Charbonnet. Drives everybody crazy. I know so many people, including myself, have both of them on their teams, and I pray every week one of them gets injured. Not really. I don't wish harm on anyone, but either one is great if the other one is injured, Trevor.
Right. Yeah. I was reading on social media during that game, and people were pulling their hair out because Najigma wasn't getting the ball for a while there. He started getting in the fourth quarter, but people were just pulling their hair out. There's really not a lot. This was just kind of a scrummy game. It was, there were some mistakes made. Fitzgerald. I keep going back in time, but Marvin Harrison, he finally got a touchdown. He could have had a really big game. He had a couple more drops, and that's been a problem for him a little bit this year, is the drops. But he finally got that touchdown. But other than that, nobody really stood out. Benson was pretty underwhelming. They didn't use him a lot, as much as I thought they would. But he's got better games coming. Seattle's a tough defense. I don't know if people realize Seattle's a pretty tough team. And they're going to be tough to beat in that NFC West. I know the San Francisco has to feel fortunate to beat them in week 1. I mean, that was just I think now with Darnold getting more reps, I think Seattle's just a better team right now.
No, I agree. I was encouraged a couple things on the Arizona side, Trevor. I like that Kyler Murray got his legs going. He ended up, 41 yards. And I like that his target tree was just Marvin McBride for the most part. 11 targets for McBride, 10 for Harrison. That makes it much easier for us fantasy folks.
Yep.
So I like it. I don't think there's any real news there except for Benson being very disappointing. DeMarcado was okay. He played in the spots we thought he'd play in. But again, a really tough defense. I think Benson's going to be fine. We're Benson fans around here. I think they're going to be all right. All right.
And they're playing the Titans this week, so he should get right here.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm just going to go down my app, and because I am a San Francisco 49ers fan, it does sort them up. So, but they're there, and so I'm going to do that. So 49ers drop to 3-1. Jacksonville unbelievably goes up to 3-1. Very, very shocking there, 26-21. We'll start over on the Jacksonville side. Lawrence, again, underwhelming completely. Etienne, absolutely a beast right now. Absolutely love it. Brian Thomas actually led their receivers, which at 49 yards was not impressive. It was Etienne or nothing on their side. I did really like seeing that Travis Hunter got a little bit more involved, and Brenton Strange, caught 6 balls. So Jacksonville, are they going to come around? I mean, they're 3-1. I mean, they've been completely unremarkable, but winning games.
The thing about Jacksonville is their defense is a lot better than expected. I mean, everybody thought they would be a bottom tier defense, and actually, they're playing pretty good defense now. With San Francisco, they had so many injuries. It's apparent how banged up they are. It's really McCaffrey and Pearsall. Mm-hmm. They hit Tongas on a play, and Jennings. You can tell he's banged up, and I don't know if he's going to play this week. So they got to play Thursday night. So
it's
going to be a
49ers side. I mean, you saw Purdy throw over 300 yards, man. You saw McCaffrey catch, only 6, but had 11 targets. He had almost 150 all-purpose yards. So it really is McCaffrey and nothing on that team right now.
Yeah, and I don't even know if Pearsall is going to be playing this Thursday night. This is going to be a very tough game for them to beat the Rams Thursday night. I expect the Rams to win by 2 scores.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see Mac Jones back at the helm again.
I wouldn't be upset with that. I mean, you could see there was a little rush with Purdy, but he had some drop balls too. But I'm not opposed to Mac Jones. I think that even gives McCaffrey even more. I think Mac Jones will look at McCaffrey first and foremost. But we'll see what happens with the receivers. I don't even know if there's a guy that I'd be willing to pick up if both of them were out. I don't think there's a guy on the receiving core that I would even trust just to pick up, even if they're going to be the top guy. So I'm passing in the Niners.
I think the Niners are going to get rolled. I think it's going to be a terrible game to play Niners.
Well, I was trying to be nice because you're a 49er fan, but
it's okay. I'm realistic.
rolling could happen.
Yep. All right. Well, we did my team. Let's do your team. The Vikings disappointed 21-24 against Pittsburgh. The early game overseas. There was actually a little bit more scoring on both teams than I thought. I mean, I was so down on Wentz. Wentz ended up throwing 350 yards because he had to. Absolute nothing burger out of Mason. Justin Jefferson, absolutely the stud that we think he is. And, Addison got 114 yards. Of course, he had an 80-yard catch, so that helps. But he got 8 balls thrown to him. I thought they'd ease him back in, and they didn't. Nature of the game they had to do. On the other side there, only 200 yards out of Rodgers. They didn't have to do anything. Kenneth Gainwell dominated the game for them. That was a huge pickup. We talked about it in Discord. Doc was all over picking up Gainwell all week long for people's waivers. And, man, he paid off. 1 yard shy of that 100-yard bonus, though.
Well, I'm in the NFFC. I played quite a few best balls, and I looked, and my team's in first place. Actually, Ian Rappaport's in that league. Yeah. I looked; he's second in my league. I had Gainwell last week, and I was wondering how I jumped to first, and I had a lot of big players in there. So, Gainwell looked good. The Vikings in the first allowing DK Metcalf free release to cross across the middle and really go untouched until he hit the 5-yard line, and his big body just got in the end zone. The Vikings up front was pushed around. They're missing guys. Van Ginkel didn't play again, and Cashman's been out. He's on IL, so that really hurts him. But I didn't expect Pittsburgh to push the front. The Vikings brought these guys in. But on the other side of the ball, the big problem with the Vikings is they lost their center, and he might call it a career. I mean, this is another concussion. He's been plagued with concussions. Their left tackle, Brian O'Neill, he went out. And when they went out, I mean, Wentz was running for his life. I still wish Wentz – he looked good at times, but man, throw the ball away. If you know the pressure is coming, just throw it away. But I will say there's a guy that if you're desperate because of injury and because of bye weeks, Xavier Scott, he's getting a lot of time for the Vikings. We kind of poo-pooed it last week because you're wondering if Cam Akers is coming in. Cam Akers isn't coming in. They're going with Xavier Scott. He had 6 catches and a touchdown. They targeted him the week before. So he's a guy that's going to be the third down back. And he's taking some carries away from Mason as well. He's got some juice to him. I, as being as diehard Viking fan as I am, I really didn't know much about him until a couple of weeks ago because, for me, it was Aaron Jones and Mason, and I didn't really pay attention to what else was going on in the backfield. But
so the thing about Scott is, Trevor, is that I don't think he gets any playing time unless they're behind and they have to do 2-minute drills or passing, schemes. And I don't know how they stack up against the Browns. You might, be able to give us some insight on that. But, the week after their bye week, they get the Eagles. And, the Browns and Eagles are both really good against the run. So you might see Scott jumping out there and passing routes again.
Well, another thing, too, with the Browns is they don't give up runs to a guy like Jordan Mason. They plug that middle. Like I said, the Vikings, we don't know what their offensive line is going to be like. It's probably going to be decimated. I expect the Browns to swarm. So they're going to have to use Scott this week, I think, and pitch outs and screen passes. So there's going to be a problem as far as the Browns. We'll get to the Browns in a bit, but, I think they're going to beat the Vikings. And I've always kind of been a pessimistic Viking fan for good reason.
Yep.
They've let me down time and time again. But I kind of like the Browns in this game. I just wish they would stop playing Flacco. I mean, that thing's over, but we'll get to the Browns later.
We'll get to them later. DK Metcalf, man, a man among boys. A man among boys.
Well, that Viking secondary isn't very good when they don't get pressure. And then when you play a free release like that, I mean, they just let him do a cross. And then they didn't need to use him in the second half because they were running the ball so well. But Pittsburgh, for some reason, almost gave that game to the Vikings. The Vikings had a chance with the ball with just under 2 minutes left to tie. I wasn't confident. I figured what was going to happen was going to happen. But, yeah. Other than that, I don't think, I don't think much of Pittsburgh. The rookie running back, he doesn't look very good for Pittsburgh.
No, I don't know what the deal is. I mean, Dak wasn't very high on him. He wasn't very high in our rookie rankings. I don't know. I picked him up in a couple dynasty leagues because he's a young back that has a path to take over. But it doesn't look like it's going to be this year, buddy.
Okay, Gainwell looked good.
Gainwell did look good. All right, let's keep moving. Let's go to the Saints, putting up 19 against the 31 points of the Bills. The Bills seem to be rolling 4-0, kicking butt up and down the field. I don't have a ton to say here. I mean, Rattler is garbage and just holding a place till they find somebody better. Kamara is clearly missing a step, but still involved. They threw him the ball 5 times. He caught 4 for 2 yards, Trevor. He really hasn't succeeded in the passing game. I just think he's lost a step. I think we've seen the end of Kamara.
Yeah, he was a guy I wasn't high on. I didn't draft him in any of my best ball leagues, which is like 40. So I passed on him at every go, I think it might be washed up. Maybe if he was playing for a better team, he'd have a little more juice, but he looks a little slow. Kendry Miller looked pretty good.
Yeah, he looked all right. And, I'm so high on Juwan Johnson, and I thought he'd get a lot more targets, man, but 3 targets on the day. It was brutal for the Saints offense.
I had to look. I had a lot of Chris Olave in DFS, so I had to look to see if he was hurt because he wasn't getting any targets. Then I look and see, well, he got -2 points for an interception he threw. I don't know why coaches do this. They try these trick plays. College ball, it works a lot. The pros, the trick plays will work every once in a while, but usually the really good teams can do a trick play. Bad teams like the Saints, and it ends in disaster more times than not.
Did you see the fake flicker from the Bears?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but anywho, there's really not much to say other than the Buffalo just rolls on. James Cook keeps chugging along.
Jeez, James Cook, man. My regret over skipping over him in early second rounds is real right now. Real.
You could have got him in the 4th round in some drafts later when you drafted later because his stock. For some reason, everybody wants to pump up the backup, I always say that you play your best players. I think Buffalo learned on that 4th down play last year when they gave the ball they didn't have him on the field in the one, and on the losing play against Kansas City. So I think he's just going to be dynamite the whole season.
Yep. He's great. I mean, talking about Davis, he got 1 catch, no targets. He's not playing. He's not playing. Shakir looked good. He looked fast. He looked quick. I like that. Kincaid gets in the end zone. Other than that, I mean, it's really Cook and then just spinning the roulette wheel on the rest of their players.
Yeah, and I think we can put the down arrow on Keon Coleman. I think that first week against Baltimore, we've seen Baltimore can't cover anybody, and the one touchdown was pretty fluky on a tip. Down arrow on Coleman.
How about down arrow on an entire team and franchise in Tennessee getting shut out by Houston?
Nothing to say about Tennessee. They're not really viable. They're playing in Arizona. Arizona's a pretty tough defense. They might score a touchdown this week,
maybe.
It's just bad there. And
so Trevor, you and Doc and everybody under the sun at drroto.com begged everybody to pick up Woody Marks this week. Of course, a lot of my leads are very deep, and he was drafted in a lot of them, but he was only showing in like 38% of leagues going into this weekend. It's too late now. You're spending fab. If you're not top priority, you ain't getting them. Should have listened to Doc and Trevor. Should have picked up Woody last week. He looked good.
I have him in a lot of leagues, and it's, I don't know, a lot of it's because they played the Titans.
Sure, they're going to absolutely.
And the Texans still, their offensive line is good, but we know that he's going to outsnap Chubb now. I think we can say that. If not, then they're crazy.
Let me ask you this, Trevor. You have him in a lot of leagues. Do you shop him in leagues and see what you can get for him after over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns?
I mean, you can shop them to see what you can get, but I just don't think because it's only been 1 week, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people clamoring, and people do realize that they were playing Tennessee. So, but if somebody's
Trevor, I think you're giving people a lot of credit in home leagues for being smarter than you think they are. I mean, the expert league, sure. But I don't know if you're in a league with your buddies and you just had Woody Mark and he was your 4th or 5th running back, trade him for a number 1 wide receiver for a team. Somebody probably give it to you right now.
Well, I have him in a lot of leagues. Nobody sent me an offer. I'd trade him for a number 2 receiver if I needed the help.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Another game with a good tight end performance. I mean, only 30 yards, but 6 targets for Dalton Schultz. I mean, that's nice. Kirk got some targets. There really wasn't much except for Woody Marks.
Texans really didn't get the offense going to the 4th quarter, and then they were getting some turnovers and turnover on down. So, Marks, actually, he wasn't – I was kind of worried a little bit. Then the 4th quarter came. That's when he got his touchdowns in the 4th quarter, back-to-back.
I'm going to start calling Doc the Monty Whisperer, sir. I feel like Doc always knows when it's a Monty game and when it's a not Monty game. 2 weeks ago in the Discord, he said, play your Montgomery. This week in the Discord, he said completely and utterly uninterested. So we'll move over to the Browns versus the Lions, 10-34. Lions rolled at home. And Monty got 9 carries for 12 yards. It wasn't his kind of game. Gibbs did well. Amon St. Brown caught literally everything thrown at him and made a move on literally every play. He was absolutely outstanding. Another guy that I passed over in early rounds, him and Cook, both were there available for me in several spots, every league. I passed them both almost 100% of leagues, and regret.
My seasonal leagues where I drafted later, where I didn't get the top 5-6 guys, I really failed. And I hate to say that because I took too much Brian Thomas, too much Chase Brown. I poo-pooed on Puka and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it really cost me. I should have went for the consistency of St. Brown. And we talked about it on Saturday night about how he was a good DFS play because people are going to be afraid of him. And we thought he was going to have a good game when he did.
That's true.
As far as Montgomery, you're not running up the middle on the Browns. That's just not going to happen. So when you have a running back, you better hope that he's a pass catcher when he's playing the Browns. Because, like I said, Jordan Mason's going to have a tough sledding. So
we got some problems here. We got Jameson Williams just not able to catch a ball again this year. I mean, they're throwing him the ball left and right. He had 8 targets to St. Brown's 7, but was only managed to pull in 2 of them. Laporta has been pretty much absent from this offense, at least for DFS purposes and season-long purposes. I don't know what to say. I mean, this team's rolling. They're absolutely crushing, but they're also disappointing in Williams. And
Laporta. The thing with Cleveland, when you're playing Cleveland, they make so many mistakes that they were set up in short field position in a lot of their drives. Detroit only had, I think, 270 yards of offense, and that's what the Browns are doing, is only giving up. They're not giving up over 300 yards of offense, but their offense is leaving other teams in great position for short field scores. So I didn't expect a whole lot from Detroit. The only guy I really liked in this game was St. Brown. I wasn't on anybody else. I knew Gibbs would do okay, but Montgomery, JMO, yeah, he dropped a long one there. He turned and he just dropped it. But
yeah, well, let's talk about the other guys, Trevor. Doc absolutely crushed the pick of playing Judkins against this tough rushing defense with the Lions, because they said they're going to get him involved, and he did. He had 21 carries, Trevor. 21 carries.
Well, he's the guy that I really like. I wasn't on Judkins going into last Sunday, and then when Mike Johnson from 1 Week Season was on with Doc on Sirius XM, he said Judkins was the play of the day. So he wasn't the play of the day, but he was pretty darn good. I mean, just other backs had great days. Judkins is a guy I'm trying to trade for. If I have Ashton Genty, I'm going to try to trade for Judkins, but I'm not. You got to be a little deceptive. You can't just offer. You offer somebody for, you have Genty, offer somebody for Judkins, then have them return and then say, well, Genty's on the block, but you'd have to give me 2 players, because I think this is where you want to get rid of Genty and get Judkins and maybe in a second player.
I mean, Judkins touched the ball 25 times for 115 yards and a touchdown combined. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. Who do you want to see there? So they did give Gabriel, 1 play. Do you think they give up on Flacco? Do you think they give it to Gabriel to start?
I don't know. I wouldn't give it to either. I'd rather see. I've been saying I'd rather see Shadur Sanders in there, to be honest, just for more excitement and the mobility. I'm not going to. I take Gabriel over Flacco, and then let Gabriel fail a little bit, and then they can bring in Shadur.
Sure. Super disappointing. Njoku and Fannin just are eating each other's value. Both very talented tight ends, and they're going to do nothing as long as they are both healthy.
Well, we do have a little bit of a development there. Tillman was placed on IR. Mm-hmm. So Isaiah Bond is a guy I'm looking to pick up.
Sure.
And I think maybe now the tight ends will get a little more involved. But it's apparent they want to give the ball to Judkins as many times as they can, except for that one drive where they did 2 quarterback sneaks with Flacco. And he got stuff. I can't believe it, but it is what it is.
All right, let's move on to Washington and Atlanta. Atlanta won by a touchdown. Both teams are now 2-2. On the Washington side, you had Mariota, doing what he does, which is not much. I think he got a lot of play because he did score a lot of DFS points for people the last game. We saw Chris Rodriguez lead the running back room there. JCM, not great. He got a couple of pass targets. Debo didn't repeat, or Debo was excellent for what he was going to give you. Not excellent enough for the 100% of my 50 cent lineups I put him in.
Well, he returned value. I mean, they waited to the second half. I didn't think Mariota looked that bad. I rewatched the game a couple of times. Penalties is what killed him, and he had some drops too. Luke McCaffrey had a pretty good game. He dropped some balls, but they started the second half 1st and 30 with two holding penalties right off the bat, and he made one bad throw in the end zone where he threw a deep ball and they picked it. But he led them on some drives, and the problem with Washington and what hurts Mariota is there's Debo is good, but he's not the game breaker, and they need Terry McLaurin back. I mean, they need that full complement of weapons. Otherwise, you're giving the ball to these Chris Rodriguez and then Bill, they want to call him Krosky Merritt. I think he looks better than all the rest. He just seems like he's faster, but there's not much to say about Washington. They need to get McLaurin back. Otherwise, it's just going to be Luke McCaffrey. We told you to pick him up last week because I thought he would be okay, and he almost returned a punt for a touchdown too. He just got tackled from behind, but he's getting open. he's finding the open spots. He just had a drop, but he did get a touchdown.
Mhm.
So as far as for Atlanta,
I have to make an apology before you get going, Trevor. I besmirched the name of Michael Penix Jr. very loudly on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday. He wasn't like superhuman, but 313 yards, 2 touchdowns. If you played him, it paid off in DFS. I mean, him and London look like they're on the same page. We got Pitts in the end zone again, which, you know, I've been a big Pitts guy all season, and he is like tight end 8 or something now. And, you know, Drake London, who I said I'd play a little of, but I wasn't in love with, 110 yards and a touchdown. Penix looked like a pro quarterback for the first time in his career.
Yeah, well, a part of that is because Washington's defense is cheeks. Let's put it that way. They can't cover anybody. And you're going to throw for over 300 yards when you just snap the ball, take 5 steps, 4 steps, how many steps it was, and throw to Bijan Robinson, and nobody touches him for 70 yards. Yep. I mean, that was a really simple play. Just throw it to him, and the linebacker was like kind of lost there. But, yeah, Penix looked good, and they kind of just ran the ball a lot in the fourth quarter. They gave the ball to Algier and Robinson a lot. So Algier got a lot of carries in the fourth quarter. So they were just trying to eat clock. Penix did make a couple plays on that drive to get him up by 10 points. He made a couple throws. London made a hell of a catch. So yeah, but Mooney got hurt. I don't know how bad it is. He came out of the game. So I don't know. I'm just not, you know, I always hear people want to talk about Ray McLeod, but I just can't get behind him.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I liked Ray. I liked Ray when he was returning kicks, and he does a little bit, but they've got that Agnew guy who does most of their returns now. But it's Bijan, man. I had him ranked number 1 overall. I took him number 1 in a lot of leagues, and he's making me happy, man. And again, I told everybody Kyle Pitts in like the 13th round was just good enough to be your tight end if you didn't want to get a tight end. Yep. And especially with Mooney out, I mean, Pitts is going to be quite good.
Who's Atlanta playing this week?
I was just looking.
I should know all these by heart, but you know what? They're on a bye week.
Yeah, no, they're on a bye week. I don't know these by heart, Trevor. It's Tuesday. I don't even look at stuff till Thursday morning. Come on.
You know, I've been going pretty hard with football for a long time, and I watched the 2 games last night, and I kind of decompressed from football for 15, 16 hours, which is the most it's been since August. So I
appreciate you coming on with me. I'm stuck in this hotel room in Des Moines, and you're keeping me entertained. So,
well, I can talk football for 24 hours all day, every day.
Yeah, absolutely love it. All right, how about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Philadelphia is 4-0. They finally, I think, actually looked good. I didn't think they looked good the first 3 weeks. I think they should have lost a few of those games, but they're now 4-0. And you got the Bucs 3-1, still looking good, but they miss Mike Evans when he's not in there.
Oh yeah, it was that was a wacky game because Philadelphia started the game off with a block punt return for a touchdown. I'm not an Eagles fan. I can't stand them. No offense to Eagles fans. I'm a Viking fan. I can't stand the Eagles. I never could. I used to like Harold Carmichael and Wilbert Montgomery, but that's way back. But
wait, who?
But you know, their offense was rolling for a while, and then they kind of lost rhythm there in the second half. I mean, the Eagles' offense didn't do a whole heck of a lot. The last touchdown drive they got was on a fumble by Bucky Irving deep in Tampa territory. Otherwise, they really struggled. What I noticed a lot in that game, Goddard got off a little bit early. He got to 2 touchdowns, which were too easy, little underhand tosses that were touchdowns. Brown, he is having a heck of a time getting open. They blanket covered him. They double covered him. And then they were trying 5-6 yard routes, and they were on him like glue. Barkley got a touchdown. It was a weird game. And then you look at Tampa's side, the 2 touchdowns they scored were kind of broken plays with, Mayfield had to scramble for his life. Ibuka made a play getting open, and the Eagles defenders kind of just misjudged it.
2 big 70-yard touchdowns. Yeah. And
the Bucky Irving play was improvised. He was covered, and he just went deep and beat his man. Yep. So it was,
the stats don't show that the Eagles were great statistically, right? But just watching that game, it seemed like they were competent and making mistakes, but coming back from it. I like it when a team struggles and still pulls out a win. It was all right. It was all right. It wasn't.
The thing about the Eagles is their defense flies around that Cooper. DeJean is everywhere. The other corner, which is named Mitchell. I mean, they're really good. I mean, the only way Tampa guy was improvising, Baker Mayfield, he pushed the team on his back. I mean, I just love that guy. I mean, Absolutely. He just scrambles around and makes a play. I mean, sometimes he's going to make an interception like he did, but what's he going to do? I mean, the Eagles brought it. I mean, they were bringing pressure to him nonstop, but Baker improvises and makes some plays. Now, if they can ever block.
So let me ask you this. So AJ Brown in the news again, complaining about not being involved and his coach having to go out there and defend him. For me, a couple of things just as a casual fan, right? I mean, you can be upset you're not involved, but your team's 4-0, man. It's not like you're losing and they're not throwing you the ball and you're angry and you're saying, just throw me the ball and we'll win. They're winning without him. You watch these games a lot closer than I do. You double watch most of them. What are you seeing with AJ Brown? Was it just this week scheming against him, or is he losing a step on his routes?
Well, I think what happens is that the defense is playing pretty good. That they play a little conservative, but he's getting blanket coverage. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They're on him like glue. So it's not like he's wide open and they're not throwing him the ball. I mean, that's just not happening. The problem with Philly is they have Devonta Smith and they don't really have a whole lot else. I mean, Goddard's there, but they don't have that third receiver. So teams are locking on to Brown because Brown's the guy that can kill you, and they'll give up underneath stuff to Smith if they have to, and that's about it. And the Eagles are making plays on defense, causing turnovers and whatnot. So they have some short fields, and you block kicks for touchdowns and field goals, and it's just Philly's just doing what they want to do to win. And Sirianni really don't care. He just wants to win games, and however they do it is how they do it, and that's the way it should be.
Yep.
There's still a bunch of 13 games left. Brown will get his eventually.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the Panthers and the Patriots. Patriots put up 42 on them Panthers. Drake May didn't have to do a lot with his arm. The running game went well. He ran the ball in. He threw 2 in. May was an excellent DFS play, paid off quite well for his price. And we saw Henderson finally get in the end zone, which was awesome. We saw Stevenson more involved than I would have liked to see him involved. Gibson got in the end zone. I mean, it was kind of a group effort for the Patriots. And then, the Panthers, I don't know, man. Andy Dalton is, 48 years old or something. I don't know. What's going on with these two teams?
Well, it was just the Panthers came off that 30-0 win the week before, and they just come out flat and they didn't look very good. The Patriots, that's just the way it's going to be. It's going to be a group committee every week. That's just the way it's going to be. Diggs is going to get a few balls. Boutte is going to get a few balls. Henry, the running back situation is frustrating because Stevenson, you think that Henderson's going to get more volume, and he really didn't with the handoffs. He did get in the end zone, which is great, but it really makes it a struggle for fantasy. I mean, if you're playing DFS, Drake May, like you've always said, is good to play just without anybody else. So if you have Drake May, he's actually pretty good for your seasonal league, but you just don't know where it's going to go every week.
Right. And what I get frustrated with them is Stephon Diggs gets his 100 yards, right? But only on 6 balls, and they don't even look his way in the red zone. I mean, they threw a 4-yard red zone pass to Mac Hollins. Henry has always been a red zone threat, but it's just a frustrating team. I really don't want anything to do with them except for May, and I'll love Henderson if they decide to just make him the back.
Right, and that's not going to happen anytime soon, it doesn't look like. So
nope. Tommy Tremble. I thought I had his name wrong. Tommy Tremble was in my Tipsy Pick article. I mean, it wasn't that hard to think of a cheap under 3K DFS play when the guy in front of him is injured. But he paid off for me in my Tipsy Picks. He got his touchdown. Other than that, man, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to watch all the games, especially when I'm on the road here in Des Moines. I didn't watch this one. Ted McMillan only caught 4 of 8 targets. What did you see from that team? Just garbage?
It was just an off day. You just throw that game away. I think they'll look better this week. So I think they're playing an easier opponent. So I think Tet will do good this week if I would remember right here.
So let's head over to
playing the Dolphins. So they should their offense hovered, and they should get back to better football.
Yeah, we'll get to them Dolphins in a minute. We got the San Diego. I'm never gonna say Los Angeles Chargers.
I do that too.
Trevor, I had a brewer, a lady that was brewing with me at the last brewery I worked for, and she came from San Diego, and she had the Chargers bolt on her arm, and I was working with her when they were going to move the team, and she basically was like, move them to Vegas. So that was before the Raiders went there. So move them to Vegas, move them here, move them anywhere. She was so hurt that team went to Los Angeles. That was the absolute last place any San Diego fan wanted their team to go. She had that tattoo covered up. Yeah, it hurt her. I didn't think this game was going to go this way, Trevor. I mean, I know New York's defense can show up at times. They pressure the quarterback well. Neighbors gets knocked out of the game, and they pull off a win against the Chargers. We all loved the Chargers offense for the game, and they did put up fantasy points for us. They were fine. Hampton had a great game. Quentin Johnson continues to, I think he's like wide receiver 4 on the year. That's crazy. But New York, I mean, Dart didn't look rattled at all. Dart looked like a professional quarterback. He didn't put up very many stats, but he didn't lose his confidence. Scatabo played well. It was kind of a fun game to watch. I did watch this one.
What I'll say about this one is the Giants just had a lot of energy they didn't seem to have. I think Dart and Scatabo just revitalized that team when the defense showed up. I mean,
Trevor, we all knew Dart was mobile. We talked a little bit about it, but he had 10 runs for 54 yards. I mean, he was good.
And a touchdown. So, he was in some winning lineups because of how cheap he was for DFS. But he's a guy I'm thinking about picking up as a backup for teams that I don't really have a good backup option. I've got Trevor Lawrence and a couple as my backup. I think I might drop him for Dart just because.
Yeah, I've got Dart in all 3 of my dynasty leagues. He was a priority ad for me this year, just because I thought Russell Wilson was going to get benched and he'd get to play right away. So, and that's what happened. So we got a couple waiver wire guys here, Trevor. Dart waiver wire. I don't know that he's an every week starter, but certainly an injury backup guy, a bye week backup guy. But Darius Slayton enters the discussion about a waiver wire. A lot of people are going to be happy they picked up Wan'Dale Robinson from last week after the Neighbors injury, but it really seems to me without Neighbors that Slayton might be the number 1 here.
Yeah, Slayton got the most targets last week. You have to look at him, especially if you're desperate at wide receiver. I mean, he's going to play. He's going to see the field. Another guy is the tight end. If Theo Johnson should get more involved too, you're hoping he does. He did get a touchdown last week, I believe.
He did. Yep, sure did. Charger side, I mean, what's going on with Ladd McConkey? 1 for 6. 1 for 6.
Yeah, he had a couple drops in this game too. I mean, he was open, had some drops. I think, Quentin Johnson is just looking so good that he's becoming the primary target. Keenan Allen is steady, and you have Hampton. So Ladd will get his eventually, but I know it's frustrating because people spent a high pick on him. They got him this second round, maybe early third. But, there was just, when they signed Keenan Allen, I totally got off Ladd McConkey because I figured it was going to be a thing because they had played together before. So they were very familiar with each other. I didn't expect Johnson to be this good, though. I mean, that's just amazing. And so the Chargers, it was just an off game for them. They just penalties sometimes and a turnover, but they'll get it. They'll right the ship. They were 3-0. They're a loss ain't going to affect them. They just have to rule out this game, and I think they got an easy matchup this week.
Yeah, and Hampton looked great, and not a single other back carried the ball. So
no. I picked up Vidal in a lot of leagues just because I was desperate, and he didn't touch the ball at all.
So we got a problem with Ladd McConkey, Trevor. He was drafted in early to mid second rounds in a lot of leagues, and you can't get anything for him right now. So we've had a lot of people, should I trade him for this? Should I trade him for that? You're going to have to take such a discount. It might not be worth it. He might just be a bench till he has a big game kind of player.
Trade him for Woody Marks.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think anybody's giving you Woody Marks for that though right now. I wouldn't.
Well, I would. I would. If people come knocking on my door, going to give me Lab McConkey for Woody Marks, I'm going to listen to that. But they're going to get right. Maybe this will be the week because it's the press is covering it, or maybe not the press, but people are squirking about it. They're playing Washington this week. They're going to score 30+ points.
So how smart did Doc almost look with the AD Mitchell play before he fumbled that ball for that touchdown?
I wonder how much money he cost people in DFS from our group, because I played him a little bit more. We had him in our late lineup that we did Saturday night. We put him in there. I missed cashing in a single entry tournament by 2 points, and I had Adel Mitchell in it, and he cost me at least cash in that. At
the end of the day, he was bottom priced, and he put up 12.6 points. He paid off his price tag, but man, so I was working during that game. I didn't see it, and I saw the replay in the morning, and I text Doc. I went, oh my gosh, I didn't know that he fumbled the ball on the 1 yard line.
Well, yeah. That was he would have got close to 20 points because in DFS, especially because it's 6 points for the touchdown, and then the fumble, I think it was a -2 or -1.
-1 or 2, whatever it was. Yeah.
So that cost him seven points, and that's big in a DFS tournament.
So like I said, I didn't watch this game. I know you did. I'm on the road working, not home, so it's been harder for me to watch this week. Pittman got another 10 targets, another double-digit targets for Pittman. He only caught 5, but he got in the end zone again. I mean, dimes to Pittman just seems kind of locked in right now.
Well, Pittman's been that type of receiver before. Last year was kind of an aberration. The 2 years before that, he had 100 catches back-to-back season. So, with Danny Dimes, Danny Dimes was a little bit off, but the running game wasn't as great. And the Rams bring the heat. And so that's all I really can say about that. That game really I was really paying attention to that game live because I was in a big DFS tournament, and I had Warren and I had Puka, and I had Puka in half my lineups, which really saved my bacon. But when Matt Stafford hit Tutu Atwell for the touchdown, everybody that had Stafford jumped me because Stafford ended up scoring 30 fantasy points for.
Yeah.
So
the one catch for 88 yards and a touchdown, Tutu Atwell.
Yeah. So you scratch your head when you think about it. I like Adams and I like Nakua, and I don't play Stafford. I just rookie mistakes. I should have known to been playing Stafford some. But
I mean, anyhow, that's there. It was nice to see Blake Corum getting a little involved over there. That was nice. Ty Warren puts up another solid effort for a rookie tight end. I like that. Speaking of tight ends, we got a listener question, Trevor.
Okay.
We got one. Eric says, in season long and in a deeper league where I can play a second tight end in the flex, is Mason Taylor a one play versus Dallas? He has Fields and Wilson too.
Well, I think it's viable. It depends on what your rest of your roster is. I mean, I don't know what the rest of your team is, but I'm Mason Taylor's a guy that people should have. He could have had a better game last night if the Jets know what they're doing. The middle of the field is open against Miami, and they should be peppering this guy. He should have had 9-10 targets against a team like Miami. So
can you play 3 Jets in the season long league though? Do you got
it's Dallas? It's Dallas. I mean, if you watch the Dallas game, all you have to do is take 3 steps, and the guy is wide open.
I love it. Well, Eric, hey, if you want to type out in the comment the rest of your team, we're happy to give you some Tuesday way too early advice, sir. So
yeah, but I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all.
I like it. All right, we got the Chicago Bears and Las Vegas Raiders. This game was kind of fun. I mean, it was kind of a disaster, kind of fun, kind of a disaster, kind of fun, back and forth and back and forth. The Bears are 2-2. Is that shocking to you?
It's not shocking to me because they should have beat the Vikings on Monday night. So I expect the Bears to win 8-9 games, but this is a game they should have lost. Geno Smith kept them in there with 3 interceptions. Man, I don't understand the Raiders. They get conservative and then they go balls to the wall sometimes. They were playing for a 54-yard field goal. I mean, come on, get that ball deeper, and then you can kill more clock. And pretty much, you knew they were going to stop Gentry on that third down play. They were going to stop him dead in his tracks because they sold out for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that cost them the game. I mean, asking a guy to kick, I know 54-yard field goals are pretty common nowadays, but it's still a hard kick to make in a pressure situation.
Like 3 interceptions and Gentry with a fumble is tough to overcome.
Yep. I needed Gentry to get that fourth touchdown. They were trying to get him that fourth touchdown on the way down. I didn't care who scored. If it was him or Bowers. And, of course, Bowers – no, they didn't even use Bowers at the end of the fourth quarter, which is very frustrating. But when Geno was throwing that many interceptions, I mean, all the optimizers, they loved the passing game for the Raiders this week or last week. And, you go into the third quarter and they tried 12 passes and he completed 6 to his own team and 3 to the other. So
not so good.
When Gentry's running the ball that well, but I will say – I know Doc might disagree with me. Gentry might have a good week against the Colts this week, but he's got a lot of tough matchups running the football. This is the game you want Gentry to trade. See what people give you for Gentry this week. I know he's the shiny new toy
but that's what you say, Trevor. It's fine to seek a trade for a guy that, some leagues he was drafted. Our league, he was drafted in the first round. I know this is what you wanted to see, and it's tough to think trade. I probably won't. I mean, it doesn't mean I won't float it out there, but do not, don't settle. If you want to trade Gentry, that's fine. Get a big piece back for him.
What I would try to do is I would try to steal Gentry or steal Judkins.
Sure.
Judkins and somebody else, and you can probably get Judkins, and you're not going to get a number one receiver with Judkins, but you might get somebody that can help your team. But I would be moving off Gentry. This is what I would want.
You referenced that play where they sold out to stop Gentry on that third down. I watch a lot of Niners games, and they do that to CMC in very clear, half-yard gains. They just stock the box. And, one of their favorite things to do is you have Kittle block for a half a second and then just peel off and just do kind of a jump pass right over top to him. They have a Bowers could have done that.
I just think, I love Pete Carroll.
He's old school, though. He just wants to pound it up the middle.
I think the game's passing him by.
Fair enough. All right, let's keep chugging along, my friend. We got the Baltimore Ravens. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me ask you up front. Is he really injured, or did he just not want to play the rest of that game?
I don't know.
We're talking about Lamar, of course.
I know we're talking about, but I just don't know what to think of it. I think that team is. I'm just shocked that the record is what it is. I mean, blowing that game against Buffalo has really peeled them off. The only game they won was against Cleveland. They were just manhandled up front on both sides of the ball by the Chiefs, and the Chiefs looked really good. Baltimore can't. I'm surprised they can't defend. I mean, it's just everybody's having a field day. It was really good for the teams that I had Mahomes in. I mentioned him on Saturday night about playing him in DFS, and I didn't do that much either. And he threw 4 touchdown passes, and there's really not a lot to take away from this game. I know people are flipping out about Henry. He's going to get his.
Hey, let me ask you this. You just said the thing, right? Hill just had an amazing game because Hill's their 2-minute drill guy. Hill's their third down passing back. Do you float Gentry over to the Henry owner? Would you do that?
Maybe. I think Henry's going to start popping off here because he's got a much easier schedule coming up. I mean,
we got to take advantage of people's,
They played some good run defense. Kansas City is a good run defense. The Browns are a good run defense. You're not going to run over those teams. I don't care who you are. They manhandle your front. I know Henry's a big guy, but he's going to start chugging along. So he's a guy. There's a lot of people frustrated with him. I have him in a league, and I'm can't wait for the rest of the season for him.
So Andrews is doing this year what I wanted him to do last year. I drafted him almost every season-long league last year and completely got burnt. He looked good again. He had 7 catches. It was only 30 yards, but he's sharp. He's catching the ball. They just couldn't get it going against the Chiefs. On the Chiefs, I think it's time. We got a lot of questions already on Monday in our Discord over at drroto.com, Trevor. Panic level on Pacheco. We told people all week we hated him. We told people every day on Discord on Sunday we hated him. I mean, I don't know. Package him with somebody who had a good game and try to get somebody else. Flat out drop him if you want. I mean, where are we at with Pacheco?
I don't know if I just flat out drop him. Maybe there's some juice left. I don't know. The problem with, you listen to these. The problem is listening to the Chiefs media. I listen to the Chiefs media in the offseason, and they talk about how good he looked. He looked like he did 2 years ago. He looks great. No, you're full of beans. I would like to say something
Xavier
else.
Worthy had more rushing yards than him this week.
Yeah, Worthy is really picking up this offense. It's going to make the whole offense better. And Thornton, he's not going away. Mm-hmm. Even when Rice comes back, he's not going away.
Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, let's keep it moving on, sir. Let's go to the stupidest overtime in all of professional sports.
I love the
ability to tie in the NFL. I was listening to Pat McAfee today, just absolutely shredding the NFL on allowing these ties. I get it. So here's the deal, right? This is what happened. One, so many extra injuries happen per play in extended overtimes. That's why they started these rules in the first place. Two, the players union got involved and said, not only are my guys getting hurt, but we don't get paid extra for overtime. There's a business reason why they did this, right? It wasn't a football or entertainment reason. It's a business reason. My question is this. Fine. Let's do this 6-minute overtime. Let's do whatever they're doing, right? Why can't we just have a soccer-style kickoff for field goals if it's at the end and just start them at the 35-yard line and
I don't want to see.
And then put it at the 40-yard line and kick it through, the 45-yard line, kick it through?
No, I'd rather see the tie. I was happy it was a tie because I didn't want the Packers to win. Dallas, what are you doing?
Hey, Trevor, come on. If you can take a look at a Packers and Cowboys game and say, I hope neither team wins. I mean, it happens.
That's true. But, if I'm the Cowboys there, and, they know more about football than me, apparently. But if I've got the ball first and I'm down there, where were they at the 3-yard line, 4-yard line? They kick the field goal in overtime. I'm going for the touchdown. Tie does you no good. Well, I guess they feel that their defense could stop that Green Bay from coming down there. But I didn't have that feeling. I figured there was no way they were going to stop Green Bay. They did have them on a 4th and 8, but an easy pass completion kept it going. Dobbs looked great, but this is a game. It's hard. I was just surprised that Dallas was able to move the ball as well as they did against Green Bay's defense. That was the surprising part. The part that I don't know what to think about the Packers guys because they were just wide open. I mean, Dobbs had a great game. We were all hoping for the rookie Golden to do better than that. I mean, he had 5 catches. But it was just step back and throw. And Dallas just leaves guys wide open. So, Green Bay's on a bye this week. So they need to get I think they had a little bit of offensive line injuries. And they need to get a little bit healthier. Josh Jacobs looked pretty good.
Javonte Williams looked good. Pickens had the game of his life.
Yep.
That was awesome.
I have Javonte and Pickens in a dynasty league. And I couldn't get rid of Javonte Williams in the offseason. Nobody wanted him. Well, now I'm happy that didn't go through. I'm very happy with his production this year.
And Ferguson put up another great game.
Oh, yeah. He's just a solid tight end, especially with Lamb out. He's going to be a guy that they're going to throw the ball to, especially when you're down, especially when your defense can't stop anybody. Right. You got to pass the ball. And, it was a fun game to watch, and I'm glad the Packers didn't win.
Yeah. We do. I'm in Iowa, and there is a contingent of Packers fans here. It's a weird state. There's a lot of Kansas City Chief fans here. There's a lot of Bears fans here. I didn't realize how many Bears fans were in this town.
And the northern part of the state is Viking fans.
Yeah, they are. It's a little wild down here. Also, I was talking to my buddy here, and he's a very frustrated. He just moved here from Michigan, and he's a very frustrated baseball fan because did you know that in Iowa, 6 MLB teams are on blackout here in Iowa? 6 of them.
Wow.
Can you believe that? So the Kansas City is blacked out, Minnesota, Milwaukee, both Chicago teams. They just got everybody out. Real quick, we just had a visitor come in. We'll get to him in a minute, but Eric typed out his team for us in the chat. So let's get back to Eric. He wanted to know if he can play Mason Taylor here. So here's his lineup. Can you read that?
Yeah, I'm going to play. I'm going to play Fields just because he's playing against that Dallas defense. Your running backs are great. Your wide receivers look pretty good. I mean, you got a pretty good team here. I would play Mason over Tootin this week. I'm pretty
So,
sure.
All right, there you go, Eric.
Well,
I'm in favor of that. I mean, ETN absolutely crushed, so there's no reason to stop giving him the ball unless it's not working, and that could happen. Teuton's talented, but I think Mason's
and he's up against Dallas.
Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. All right, in the studio we are joined by Heat Override from Bring.
Oh yeah, how's it going?
How are you?
What's
Heat?
going on, team? I saw you guys were up in here. You were having some fun. I just got done recording, so I'm all jacked up and stuff. So
all right, well, you caught us in time for the last two games, sir. We're going to review the Monday night games. That's all we got left, and we're almost at an hour, so we're going to get out of here after that.
That's
but we got the two loser teams in Miami and Jets. If Miami could lose a game because of how ugly their jerseys were, I would have been happy. But the Jets couldn't pull it off. You had Fields have an excellent fantasy game, but this is what Fields does. He has amazing fantasy stats and loses the game.
Yep.
I didn't like the Jets game plan for one. I thought they should have been going over the middle a lot more. There's really not a lot to take. Hill's out, so that's going to boost up some players for Miami. I mean, Malik Washington's a guy you might want to think of. We had a Darren Waller sighting. You know what the difference between Darren Waller and Mason Taylor is for me? About $40,000. If I play Waller instead of Taylor, which I wasn't going to do, I would have tied for first place. And they split
brutal,
like 50, they split like $58,000 between like 5 guys, 6 guys, or whatever. I would have got a piece of that, but I did do pretty good because I did finish second, or what would have been like awesome, 6th.
Dude.
Yeah, it was great. Hey, Heat, let me ask you a question. This is perfect for you. So Tyreek Hill carted off the field, laughing, clapping, peace signs to the crowd. Was that shock from extreme pain in his knee, or him going, "I'm getting paid and don't have to play. I'm getting paid and don't have to play"?
It's everything. It's everything. Now, I will say, when you're jacked up and like when I'm fighting, the minute like an individual punches me in the face and say I might have like a blood, or I feel like I have like maybe a cut eye or something, you get a whole nother level of like next. He was in that, but I think someone said it that they gave him a good morphine shot because he was having it. He was all happy and stuff like that. And I do agree with the Waller play too. I actually went to karate and I thought I hit submit on a Waller captain, and I went to go back in to look and check to see me winning, and I look and I go submit and I go, oh no, and I just backed out and I was done. I didn't even get a lineup in. That's how just crazy it was. But man, that was a heck of a game. But the injury like that, Malik Washington steps up. I don't like Waddle for some reason. He's had this opportunity handed to him multiple times over the last couple of years, and he doesn't do anything with it. It's always another receiver that steps up. Do you guys feel the same?
Yeah, I feel the same way about Waddle. He just doesn't do it for me.
He doesn't show up.
You would hope that this would be the time, but the Dolphins, they are playing the Panthers, so I don't know how much he's going to get up. JC
it's Achane. Achane gets the boost on this team with Hill out, and as long as he stays healthy, that's the only guy I'm really interested in. Yeah, Malik Washington's fine. He's going to be a hot waiver pickup. I'm probably not going to put anything in for him. But
and I'm probably not going to pick up Waller either. I know he had a good game. He had 3 catches, but
good.
But I guess he might be not Waller. Ingram. Why am I or Waller? Yeah. Why would
the same player?
He should get more targets though with the injury, but I still have no interest.
Yeah. Hey, Heat, you're very, very quiet. I don't know. I've got your mic up all the way here, but I can't help you anymore.
So, sometimes like I think that the double denoise. There it goes. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta put me up a little bit. Thank you. Oh.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah. Hey, I agree with the whole Waller thing.
Fair enough. Anything else here before we go to the final game?
No, there's nothing to take.
I just think you can play Mason Taylor with confidence.
Yeah, I like Mason Taylor. All right, let's talk about the Bengals and the Broncos. I figured the Broncos would roll in this game, but the Bengals looked especially worse than I thought that they would. I have Jake Browning on a dynasty league where I am rebuilding and planning on tanking and losing the whole year and trying to get better draft picks. And when he got the ball, I got all these 3rd round future offers for him. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to wait to get that 2nd round. He's going to have one of these 300-yard games. And I think I missed my window to trade this guy in the dynasty league. It was bad, man. He looked bad. The team looked bad. Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, Higgins, they all looked frustrated and angry. It was just ugly. I know Denver's defense is really good, and it's really hard to go into Colorado and win games out there. I really like the Denver team. I think they looked a little sluggish to start the year. I like the way they kind of look now. I was absolutely shocked how good Dobbins looked. I thought that he would have died off by now and it'd be the Harvey game. The Denver got back to their game. They threw the ball well with Nix. Nix had 326 yards. Sutton got back on the page. They all looked pretty good over there. Trevor, what do you think about this Denver team?
Well, I think any offense is going to look really good against the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, they stink. I mean, their defense is terrible. Their offensive line is terrible. This is what happens when you pay all these skill receivers. They, in my opinion, they should have never re-signed Higgins. Burrow clamored for him. They needed offensive linemen. I mean, they need offensive linemen bad. They need defensive players bad. They didn't need Higgins, but they have him. And now, with Browning, he's got no time to throw. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, he has no time to throw the football. I mean, he's just – and there's no running game there. They can't run the ball because their line's so bad. Now, they did play some really good run defenses. Well, you wouldn't think Minnesota's was that good after watching them play against Pittsburgh, but they were projected to be good, and they shut that down. So you got a quarterback that's running from your life. So
Ed Smith, fantasy clown, our dynasty expert over at drroto.com, chimes in. He says, you still have time to move Browning. Buys and more injuries are coming. I know he didn't say more injuries are coming, but I know what he's thinking. Buys and more injuries are coming. What's the panic level with these guys? Is there any value that you can return that you'd be happy with for Jamar Chase that got taken number 1 overall almost everywhere? Do you trade him? Do you hold him? Because there's no way anybody's giving you anything good for him right now. So I think you just have to hold and hope and hope and hope.
That's all you're doing is hoping. I mean, that's all you can hope.
You gotta hope, right?
I mean, they get the Lions this week. The Lions can be passed on, but once again, they're a team that's going to come after the quarterback. And I don't know if he's going to have time to throw the football. And this is not going to be a Chase Brown week. So if they're going to be competitive, they got to get the ball to Chase and Higgins. I mean, they have to. And hopefully you just hope they score more than 3 points. I mean, they were down 3 points last week, so they got a touchdown against Minnesota in garbage time. So they're at home. Yeah. They probably play a little bit better. They can get time. Let's give Browning one more week. I don't know if I'm going to start him in any leagues, but if I have him, I think I would just hold him another week just to see what happens, unless there's somebody really tasty on the waiver wire you need. But, I mean, the weapons are there. We just got to hope he gets time to throw the ball.
Did you have time to watch this game, Heat?
Dude, I was watching both games on both phones before the TV had Monday Night. The TV had Monday Night Raw on it, so we were watching that. We were doing a lot at once. But
so let me ask you something. Heat.
Yes.
What did you think of RJ Harvey?
I thought RJ Harvey did look good, but at the end, when I thought that they would be running Harvey more, that's when Dobbins came back out. And I was confused by that. I was like, why are you putting that brittle ass dude back out there? And now we got this rookie who should be able to take some hits. That's why sometimes I think coaching just don't be thinking. Like, let the rookie get his run. Harvey would have looked even better. Save J.K. Dobbins. And then now we didn't get that. And now we have this thing going on. That's my opinion. I think Harvey looked good. And I think going forward, he's going to continue to get stronger if they give him the ball and stop thinking, well, we have to give JK the ball at the end of the game. No, you don't. You're up. Sit his ass.
Here's what happened. Now, Harvey's looking really good receiving the ball, but here's what happened. They pulled Dobbins last week, and he bitched to the coaching that they didn't let him get 100 yards. They got him over. They played him late to get 100 yards.
Wow, that's
they
funny.
Even talked about it on the
I mean, Trevor, we talked last year with Dobbins. I mean, Dobbins has always been an absolute stud running back while healthy. always. He's always been fantastic when healthy. He was the same way in Ohio State. The guy is explosive. He's a hell of a player. He just has like no cartilage left in his knees. So.
No.
Yeah,
and that's
Harvey's
a big thing,
have a
man.
good game. Harvey's going to have a big game here and there. We know Dobbins ain't going to make it to the whole season. He's going to miss some time. Harvey looks fast. But yeah, they like him in the passing game a lot now. But everybody looks good against the Bengals.
All right, let's close it out here. Eric wants to know: would you offer Chase for Buka?
Nobody's going to.
They're not going to give you that.
Yeah. No, Abuka won't go for Chase at this point.
Ed said, "Would you trade Chase for Jamison Williams?"
No,
I wouldn't do that. Actually, here goes something for you guys. One of our guys, Kickman, sent me a trade today. He was going to trade me the 2026 first overall pick and third overall pick for Jared Goff. I know Ed just literally probably fell out of his chair when I just said that. I have not accepted this trade yet because I have Goff, I have Nix, I also have Cooper Rush. You know, that superstitious quarterback that keeps going everywhere and everybody gets hurt. But I have him on my bench along with like Drew Lock and things. And I'm thinking back, I'm like, it seems tempting to go grab another first and third. But if I make that move, then I only have Nix and I have no backup. So then that really hurts my team. And I'll only be Bo Nix and that's all. So I wanted to throw that out there because that's kind of a really crazy trade to see. And I know Kick, I don't know what he's thinking, but he must really want Jared Goff. What do you guys think about that?
Well, is your team going to have a chance to win this year?
They had a chance until everybody just got hurt. Like Tillman just hit the IR. I have Jones on the IR, Aaron Jones, that is. I had every Cleveland running back, Sampson, Ford, and Chubb. So I have them. I have Travis Hunter. Yep. I have Brock Bowers. I have my tight ends are great. I have Strange. I have Dalton Schultz as well too. But
I mean, if you're not going to win this year, I say do the trade.
Accept easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet it's not super flex. It's one quarterback, Ed. It's one quarterback.
Yeah, I think I'm making the move because Nix is going to be. I mean, Goff is going to have his high ceiling games. I mean, especially when he's at home. But man, it's a first and a third. That's pretty tough to pass up for Goff. I mean, it's not it's not like it's Herbert.
Right.
No. And that's the thing is like, so like he sent me that, and then I sent him a text back and was like, look, dude, I made a bad trade a while ago. Well, not a bad trade. There was a couple teams that needed quarterbacks. So I traded away Sam Howell that year when he started in that last year for Washington. I also traded away Baker Mayfield that same year, which Baker Mayfield went to the moon. And I kept Jared Goff, and I had Bryce Young, and then eventually Bryce was offloaded for Nix. But at the same time, it's like, do I do it? And then I'm like thinking about it more now. And then I was like, you know what? This seems like a great time to bring it up since I saw Ed. Oh, okay, Ed. Okay, I see you. Okay. But I just thought it'd be fun to run it through.
Sorry, Lou. I had to just, put a banner up here for you.
Oh.
Sorry
boy.
Sorry about that, Lou.
Oh, boy. So before we get out of here, since I just came off of my show, I'll just give out my IDP waiver wire pickup today. He may not be starting, but he looked great for the Cowboys. Donovan Iziraku, 5 tackles, only 48% snap rate. He gets any more than that coming up next few weeks, actually more than few weeks, going towards the Cowboys bye. They have a ton of mobile quarterbacks coming to town. You got Hurts, you got Daniels, because he's going to be back by that time. They're going to need Donovan Iziraku. Pick him up off your waiver wire. Also, the macho pick of the week is Nico Collins. I hope you guys are ready to watch Nico Collins go 200 yards and 2 touchdowns because this man is
I'm hoping so. I have him in a lot of leagues. Speaking of IDP, really quick, I know we want to get off there, but I have Franklin from the Colts. We can only have one IDP player. He's not really doing a whole lot. Do I drop him for a guy?
Well, you can hit me up off of the thing. Yeah, you could drop him. I don't know why you have Franklin in the first. I mean, is this the IDP player you could start? Like, can you put a linebacker in there, right?
Any defensive player.
Any player. Dude, you got to have somebody like, like I love Diane Henley. He hasn't been hot recently. And then you got to flip over to Foyesid Oluokun. He's been hot. He kind of came down a little bit. A lot of people haven't been on him. And also another guy that has been on the waiver wires and hasn't been as owned as much is Zaire Franklin. Zaire Franklin has led the league in tackles for a couple of years here. So I don't understand why he's even on the waiver wires or why he's so low.
I have Franklin,
right now, but
and he's not doing
right there.
I have Franklin.
I thought you meant the other guy. I didn't know which Franklin you're talking about. All right.
Yeah, I have the guy from the Colts. And he's just not putting up any points.
Fair enough. All right. Listen, guys, take this IDP stuff offline. Let's do one thing here before we go. We do talk throughout the show about players we like, but this is a barren waiver wire for me. I mean, I really don't like any of the players that are going to go big this week, except for Jackson Dart if he's out there for you. I don't really want Malik Washington. I don't know. He's fine. Wando Robinson had a whole bunch of pickups last week. He's not going to be there. Slayton, I guess, if you don't have to spend a lot of money on him.
I would say Bond. I do like Bond.
Yeah, Bond is fine. But I think there might be some guys just slip through that you don't have to use waiver wire priority or money on too. So I don't know. Brashard Smith, we've been telling our listeners for like a month now, Ed, to pick up Brashard Smith because Pacheco sucks so bad. So if he's there, sure. But this isn't a big spend all your fab week. So be cautious. Be cautious this week. So
I would definitely.
Eric wants to know DeMarcus Robinson this week. I don't want no part of the 49ers offense this week. 0 parts.
What? Yeah. I'll be nice. I won't say anything.
Listen, they're beat up. They're injured. They're on a short week. They're traveling. It's no good. Don't play any 49ers this week. Don't do it.
Yeah, we're not with
They're
the
not
Rams
traveling
defense
that
the way
far.
it is.
Right, no. But they're not at home, and it's a short week. Yeah. Don't get cute there. It's okay.
If you can get Zach Bond, Trevor, get him. If you can't get Bond, Oluokun, then I would go Henley. And then after that, you're looking at like Jamin Sherwood. Sherwood's a huge pickup. And then Tyler Dodson. There's your guys.
Okay. Hey, Ed Smith, if you were listening to the whole show, you would have heard us talk about Darius Slayton, sir. Just giving you a hard time, buddy.
It's Scattaboo. Scattaboo.
Yeah, it's just Scattaboo and nothing. And Trevor actually likes a little bit of Theo Johnson. So. All right, let's get out of here, guys. It's been an hour and 12 minutes. Heat, thanks for jumping in. We always appreciate seeing you out there.
Thanks,
Trust and Trevor, Danger, all of our stuff. We do shows all week long. We got articles all week long. We are still covering baseball. We got is it Fuego Steve doing WNBA even and making a killing on it? We got everything you want at drroto.com. Use promo code WIN for 10% off. And of course, our absolute crushing Discord that you have to be in because if you really like hearing Danger and Heat's opinions, we're all over that all day, 24/7, 365. Please come check us out, drroto.com. I'm Johnny Danger. We'll see you all next time.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.